Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So for today's video, we just had a not really like a big NBA trade go through, but it's a trade and it's August and that point of the NBA season or off season where there's literally nothing going on. So we of course have to talk about it. Now, before we get going on this video, if you guys don't mind leaving a like, 1,000 likes is always the goal. And remember, especially this time of year, man, it's extremely important you guys leave a like on the video. Really helps out my channel, you know, growing the algorithm, all that good stuff. And with the NBA season kind of being dead, it's even more important, man. So thank you guys so much for your constant support. And of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel, as we just hit 275,000 subscribers. So we're getting so close to 300K. But okay, so the trade was between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Clippers. The trade involving Eric Bledsoe from the Memphis Grizzlies, and they actually played a game there was initially on the New Orleans Pelicans, traded in the Valanciunas, Steven Adams, and I believe the trade that got Zaire Smith over on the Grizzlies and Trey Murphy over on the Pelicans, all sorts of confusing stuff, man. But it's Eric Bledsoe going to the Clippers in exchange for Patrick Beverley, Rajon Rondo, and some dude named Daniels. So yeah, man, straight up, I mean, it's Eric Bledsoe over on the Clippers again. Now, if you guys remember, Eric Bledsoe actually once upon a time did play for the Los Angeles Clippers, as you guys can see right here. It's actually where he started his NBA career as. And for a lot of this, as you guys can see, the man did not really start many games. That's because at this time, he was playing behind Chris Paul. But while on this team, you know, his nickname was Mini LeBron. Like, people looked at Eric Bledsoe as a guy that could give you that grit and grind hustle at the point guard spot, play tough, you know, when kind of a, what was he, like 6 foot? 6'1", so, you know, a shorter player that played with the heart of a 7-footer or whatever. Remember LeBron James, I guess you might want to say. And eventually went to Phoenix, played there for a few seasons. Said he didn't want to be there via tweet. Don't break up via tweet, man. Even with your NBA franchise, you know, played a little bit on the Milwaukee Bucks. Not really any success there. Went to the Pelicans, and on the Pelicans was just a bad fit alongside Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and of course Zion Williamson. But now he gets himself a chance over on a new team, being the Los Angeles Clippers. And, you know, I look at the roster right here, man. This is last year's roster because, well, the updated rosters aren't there yet. But the reason I feel like this trade is so important is because, say what you want about Eric Bledsoe, he is better than Patrick Beverley. He can at least, you know, Patrick Beverley is not going to give you like an inch of offense whatsoever. Every now and then he might knock down a three, even that's kind of luck. Eric Bledsoe at least at times can be at least a flash of an offensive player in the NBA. Maybe not as much as years past, but regardless. And the reason this trade is so nice is because, you know, obviously Kawhi Leonard, who just re-signed to a 4-year deal, he's going to be out for the most of next season. So the idea of Eric Bledsoe kind of like being on the team, somewhat knowing the system. Yes, it's been about 8 years, but regardless, so, you know, somewhat knowing the team and stuff like that, and at least the location, I think is going to help in the short term, give a little stability. Now, as far as him playing off of like Paul George, I don't know if I'm like a huge fan of that, but when it comes down to it, man, like it could be a worse situation. And even looking at Rajon Rondo and guys like that, man, it's like getting kind of old. He probably gets balled out by the Memphis Grizzlies, could even return back to the Clippers. We don't really know. But yeah, man, just real quick here, looking at Eric Bledsoe on this last NBA season, 12 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds per game. He did start 70 games. This is the important factor right here. He spent a lot of time playing the shooting guard position. He is not a shooting guard. He's not a shooting guard. He's just not, it's just not what he does. But yeah, so I think you really have to look at the season report for it to get a better sample size. 15 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds per game. Obviously, that's playing behind Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I think in the short term of things, he will be a decent, at least third scoring option for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, looking at the guys that were traded over to the Memphis Grizzlies, I guess, yeah, it would be, well, we can just go right here to the Clippers, and yes, let's pull this down real quick here. We have Patrick Beverley, which I believe Reggie Jackson just re-signed with the Clippers too, so it leads me to think, to at least start the season, I wouldn't be surprised if we perhaps see an Eric Bledsoe, Reggie Jackson backcourt, which could actually kind of work, because Reggie, I think, is better when he focuses more on scoring than being like a playmaker and stuff anyway, so that could actually work in the short term of things. But yeah, probably gonna be a rotation between those two guys. But yeah, Patrick Beverley is traded away. Last season, 7-8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Actually a better 3-point shooter than I gave him credit for at about 39%. That can't be like historically how good he was. Has he always been good like that, man? Okay, you know what, man? I'm gonna admit my fault right there. I underrated Patrick Beverley from the three-point line. Like, he can knock it down from there. I think I kind of said that, but I didn't really give him credit for being a 40% or at least a 30% career three-point shooter. So good for him on that. Still not really much of like a bulk offensive guy. I think the best way I can equate it, even this is kind of disrespectful to the player we're going to be talking about, but like a Mario Chalmers, how he was for the Miami Heat, where, you know, bringing the defensive playoff ball mostly with the ball handler guys, right, man? So, pause. And who else was traded away? Yeah, we got Rajon Rondo. Yeah, Rondo, wow, he didn't really play at all last season, did he? 18. He only played 18 games? Bro, was he injured? Okay, so he started off on the Atlanta Hawks. He started off on the Hawks, was traded. That's correct. But when he did play, he was fine. But Rondo he's getting up there in age. He will definitely get bought out. I think Beverly would be a better backup point guard for John Morant than Rajon Rondo. So I would say Rondo gets bought out. We'll take a look at him in a minute here, man. We'll take a look at him here in a minute. And then there was also this Daniel dude. Yeah, we got Daniel Otoro, who is 21. Hey, that's a young player, right? That's not bad. 6'8" center? Okay, I think you get it done, man. You get it done. But only played one NBA season. As far as where he was drafted, I'm not sure what draft pick he was, but probably drafted last year if maybe he was an undrafted player. But 1 point. Okay, so we're not going to get much from him out here. He played 30 games. I guess that's decent enough. Shot 0.23s a game. So, hey, man, big man stretching it out. Can't blame him on that. So it's per 36, which might be a little bit of a better sample size, especially with 30 games. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. So it looks like maybe he can be your traditional inside center that might be able to stretch out a little bit, man, to the mid-range shot, man. Maybe every now and then jack up a 3, but for the most part, probably not so much. And a little bit of defense. Now, shot blocks with per 36 doesn't really go well together because there's guys that would average like 50 blocks a game based off that stat line. But I did want to go over here to the Fanspo real quick, and let's go to the trade proposal. And I'm sorry, we want to go to, yeah, trade machine. So let's go to the Clippers. I just want to see how it affects like the plus minus. So we got Clippers and we have the Memphis Grizzlies. If it's even going to go through all the way, I assume it should. So, yeah, Patrick Beverly over here. We got, where else man? We got Daniel over here. And where is Rajon Rondo going? Over here. And then coming back the other way is Eric Bledsoe, who, by the way, man, like contract-wise, 2 years, $18 million. Maybe a little bit of a bold move, all things considered, because you got some expiring contracts right here. You guys can't really see because it's kind of in the way, but yeah, man, if you look at the expiring contracts like that, I mean, I know you got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, but wouldn't you rather have that money freed up, like that $18 million for next year's free agency for 2022? Because at that point, you don't really have many guys coming off the book. I guess you got Serge Ibaka's money, Zubac's coming off the book, so that frees up a little bit, but overall, not too much, man. Let's go ahead and try this trade out. And obviously, it's going to be successful. So we got the Clippers going up +1 wins, -1 for the Grizzlies. Like I said, the only guy I expect playing here is probably Patrick Beverly. Or maybe there's even a case. I guess I don't know the Memphis Grizzlies squad as well as I probably should. I think they have Tyus Jones as a backup point guard. At least I think that's who played mostly last season. So, yeah, let's go to the 2021 season right here. And John Morant, yeah, Tyus Jones, I think, played quite a bit. So maybe a position that they could have at least used a different, I mean, I wouldn't really say he's like a young player. He's 23, 24, 25. Yeah, he's about 25. So he's close enough to a veteran in my opinion. So that's fine, I suppose. But yeah, man, I expect Beverly to probably play for this team. As far as Rondo goes, just kind of going through the teams here. Yo, No, I don't think Rondo goes back to the Celtics. If I remember correctly, they had a little bit of a downfall, as Rondo has had with many of the teams he's been on. Brooklyn Nets could perhaps make sense as a backup point guard. I could possibly see that. The Chicago Bulls, they got Caruso as a backup shooting guard. They got that AO dude, but he might be a little ways away. They might have somebody else that I'm not thinking of. Denver Nuggets, you could probably make a case right there. Golden State Warriors play behind Curry. Yo, that would actually work, man. He could play with Curry or behind Curry. Obviously, Klay Thompson's starting, but I kind of like that fit too. The Miami Heat playing behind Kyle Lowry because I don't think they got Kendrick Nunn back. No, they did, right? Yeah, Goran Dragic got traded away. Okay. So definitely some decent fits here that I think makes sense for Rajon Rondo. And maybe not a huge role, but I think the Warriors would probably be the best bets. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, man, not a huge trade to talk about, but hey, it's August 15th. And is fun enough. So that's all we got. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel. Also, you guys want to check me out on Instagram. That is my ad right there. Love to have you guys follow me as I post, you know, man, very wholesome content every single day. Well, it's been about 3 days. But yeah, check me out there. Twitter, Extra Crispy on YouTube, all that good stuff, man. That's all we got for this video. Peace out.